Hello, in this video, I'm going to show you how to use the Data Virtualization Studio to create RESTful services against VSAM files. The first thing you need to do is to create a virtual table or map of your VSAM file. I'm going to expand the virtual tables folder, and you can see that I have many virtual tables out here. One of them that I have is the staff RLS, which is a virtual table to a VSAM file called csdai38.ddb0.staff. Once these virtual tables are created, you can then generate RESTful web services to access those virtual tables. The virtual tables are very simple to create. You can manually create them by saying create virtual table VSAM, naming the table that you want to create, pointing it towards the copybook layout for the table, and then you can give it the VSAM cluster name of the file, validate it, it knows that it's KSDS, and finish. And you actually just created a virtual table that I called test towards a VSAM file. We also leverage IBM's ADDI or application discovery, and you can simply point and click to create your virtual tables for VSAM or sequential data sets that would be in ADDI. Other non-VSAM data sets that have a catalog, we would leverage that catalog outside of ADDI to create the virtual table. But it's simple to create the virtual tables from here as well. Create virtual table. Validate to our physical sequential, one's VSAM. Tells you the name of the tables it's about to create. And it now creates those virtual tables for you to use. Once you have your virtual tables created, you can create your RESTful web services very easily. I've created a service called Staff RLS already and generated 4 operations within it. One which is a get all, which gets all records from the VSAM file. One is an insert, one is an update, and one is a delete. You can execute these then RESTfully by right-clicking and choosing to execute query. It pulls the RESTful command up, pointed towards the host that it's going to run on and the ZOS Connect port that it's listening on, 14081. And when you run it, it executes it RESTfully and returns the data in a JSON format. These services and operations are very easy to create. We could create another one, say that was a get by name, and you could say create operation. It's a REST service. Point towards the virtual table. REST RLS. Name the service. I'll call it a get by name. And I'll change the SQL to where name equals question mark. Question mark is the parameter marker that we're going to supply as input. It knows that I have one input field, which I'll call name, which is what we're going to supply. I'll leave the result set with all the data variables coming out and say finish. Now it's created that RESTful service, get name, that we can execute. Before we execute it, ZOS Connect doesn't know about it, so I have to refresh. That refreshes all the services from the Data Virtualization Studio to ZOS Connect. The refresh command's complete. Once we've refreshed, then you can run the service. Right-click, execute query, and I'll give it a name of a person that I know exists. And it returns just Sandy. You can then export these services from the studio by generating the SAR files and import those SAR files into the IBM API editor and run them as APIs there. You would right-click, generate the SAR file. It creates all the SAR files. You would go over to the IBM API editor and go and create a new project and import the SAR files. I've already done that and imported all the SAR files. You can see them here. Once they've been imported, I created the APIs from those SAR files very easily in a matter of minutes. And then you can run those APIs from Swagger UI. Here you can see that I have them created. So the get all is out here, and you could execute it and see that it returns all the records. You could run an insert by expand the insert. The insert is out here, supplying all the input fields. And when I run it, you can see that it ran successfully and it affected one row. And you would now see that this has been inserted. So if I go and run the get all and look for ID 360, he's going to be out here. There he is. You can also run the update. Where we could change his commission and his salary amount. And when you run it, it tells you affected one row. And when you go and look, sure enough, it did. It updated him, his commission and his salary. And last but not least, you can run the delete to delete the record from the VSAM file. It runs, tells you it affected one row. And if you ran the get all now, you'll see that 360 is no longer there. And he's gone. 350 is the only one there. So it's really that easy to generate virtual tables, build web services, RESTful services off those virtual tables, and execute those. And if you want, export the SAR files, import those into the IBM API editor, build the API services there, deployed to z/OS Connect, and run those through the Swagger UI. That's it. Thanks.